on chairs anyway.
Huh?
Hardly anybody sits on
Hardly
chairs.
anybody sits.
आज बेटा जाएगा, आज हम लोग को ठीक है, आज से चालू करेंगे।
Better today than yesterday.
Yeah, much better than yesterday. It was very bad. Yeah.
Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Shri Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai 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 Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Ram Jai Ram Shri 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 Ram Jai Ram
Hariom.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam, pranam, pranam. Hari Om, Hari Om. So what shall we share today?
Mike.
Hmm? Is that?
Can you repeat what you said, please?
But today Swamiji shares.
Today's Swamiji shares.
Your choice.
During our satsang period, we ask these questions. At times, some prompting comes to some devotee and they raise one topic. Whatever is to be shared at that time, whatever promptings that well up in our heart, it is shared. Then it goes. When we were going through Parampujya Swamiji's book, Dive Deep and Soar High, there is a particular chapter called Sadhaka, the last but one, where Puja Swamiji wants us to graduate ourselves from the devotee stage to the sadhaka stage. Here we will just read out. It is in a dialogue form. Seeker, we need your blessings and occasional darshan to give further impetus to our sadhana. So the Guru says, our good wishes and blessings are with you, but you have to play your part. Seeker asks, what part? Guru, all of you are blessed with love and devotion and a desire to have God vision. Desire alone won't do. Your aspiration to realize the truth must be fiery and your sadhana well disciplined. Instead of being merely devotees, you must turn into real sadhakas, not remaining merely as arthas and artharthis. So the seeker asks, is there a difference between sadhaka and a devotee? Guru, yes, devotees are those who are devoted to God but aspire mainly for worldly things. They are not generally keen to have anything higher. Whereas jitnasus or sadhakas aspire only for God. They put themselves under strict discipline, which is like an advanced course that demands a high standard of dispassion, intensity of aspiration, and discipline. So this question today, as we were coming out from Ramana building, this was the thought that welled up in our hearts. Why is it that in spite of hearing so many things, in spite of going through so many disciplines, he gives the feeling that we are nowhere near the goal? And the goal is to feel his presence behind our every thought, word and action. We do Ram Nam, we attend bhajans, we do satsang, not for 1 or 2 years, for decades. But still that's insufficiency, and the feeling of insufficiency, it is still felt. So now we are directed to go to Puja Swamiji's words, that there should be an effort on our part to move from the devotee level to the sadhakas level. Anybody would like to say anything about this? Probably each one will be asking oneself, whether I am a devotee or a sadhaka.
Yes, Swamiji. Hari Om Swamiji, that is what was going on in the mind.
That is okay. Because God has not given us that what you call exclusive involvement in pursuits that will help us to move towards Him. Some block is there everywhere. It comes out in the form of me and mine, it comes out in the form of responsibilities, duties, commitments, challenges. There could be so many. Because we have to every now and then draw the balance sheet. We are always reminded about Papa Mataji's, Till 1920, Vittal Rao was like anybody else. But by 27th December 1922, the transformation has taken place in 2 years. Puja Mataji joined Papa in Kasaragod Ashram in 1928. Before they left Kasaragod Ashram, Mataji also had scaled the heights. So in 2 years' time, they were able to scale. Okay, they were blessed with keen aspirations. So many things are there where they could do it. But in our case, we are now watching ourselves. Many of us, or most of us, must be having this in our mind for the past 30, 40, 50 years. So we are trying to find out or pray to Him, will you show us some way by which, our intensity or aspiration becomes intense So that before we drop the body or before you take the body from others, ultimate the life's fulfillment becomes a reality. The sankalpa becomes a reality. Sankalpa of becoming one with him. So this we should keep on asking ourselves. This periodical introspection or evaluation will surely help us to become more and more serious in our sadhana. For example, our only main sadhana is chanting. So what all should accompany? We are trying to find out what we were doing it. Many of us might be following, we go to the particular session. We enjoy that session. Or at home, morning we would have set apart 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Or we may have a sankalpa of doing 5 malas, 10 malas, something like that. We were religiously doing it. As far as possible, we try to lead a righteous life. Wherever there is any chance to associate ourselves with a noble thought, we attend satsang. Whenever it is possible, we try to read the inspiring words of Papa Mataji and Mahatmas. All these things we are doing it. But why is it that we feel that insufficiency in our sadhana? This is, each one has to think about it. There can't be any general prescription for this. So now when we take up the drama, for example, we do it during the specified time. Unknowingly, unwittingly, we limit our remembrance through chanting to a particular time. And rest of the time probably, because of habits, we are not conscious of what we are expected to do. That means bringing in the God dimension. It could be one of that. Another problem could be that suddenly we would like to put ourselves, even while we are on our field of profession or household duties or social, we try to become honest, sincere, we put in our efforts to bring out efficiency there. There is at least a touch of love in what our dedication is there, everything is there. But do we remember him? Not that we don't want to remember him. We want to remember him, but what is it that makes us to forget him? Outwardly we are doing everything in the normal way, righteous way. Whatever values Papa Mataji have been highlighting, we were trying in our own. There may be some aberrations or dilutions, but by and large we try to keep up. So which are the areas where we have to still improve? So one answer could be that we have set apart this Nama chanting only to a particular time, whereas in Papa's case we find the Nama chanting was going on irrespective of the field in which he was. You all remember his own words in Quest of God, be the period ever so small. No? He gives us some clues. Another drawback or roadblock could be, we may not be very clear as to what exactly is the goal. And that is why our chanting does not become effective. A superficial idea is there, but not deep. So when one devotee one day raised this topic, how to become one with him, that made us to go through so many aspects of sadhana. Then we found we have to make the chanting qualitatively different from what we have been doing. Because that is the sadhana with which we are comfortable, And our path is a combination of bhakti, jnana and karma. They are not separate by themselves. To know him is jnana, to love him is bhakti, to serve him is karma. To know him, when we go through Papa's, the first word, first introduction of God, in quest of God, is that he is the subtle and mysterious power. Ram stands for subtle and mysterious power. We can try that. In the first chapter, he introduces the word great void. So we do some manana to know something about it. So that is knowing. Fully relying upon the jnana path for people like us who are not exclusively involved, it will become dry after some time. So that is why to love him is bhakti, it comes here. To know him is jnana, to love him is bhakti. So we know he is there inside us and we are separate. The sense of individuality is separate. But we have intellectually understood that he is the activating force behind this sense of individuality. So we develop a relationship with him. And then we come to know that it is he who is prompting us, again intellectually. He is prompting us to think, talk and do. So everything is initiated by him. So whatever he makes us to serve him, it becomes karma. In our at home, in the field of profession, with friends. These are the three tires through which he makes us to express our individuality. Family life, professional life, social life. So Papa wants us to bring this dimension. And for all this, the only anchor is Nama. So I must train myself in such a way that the Nama pulls me up whenever I go off the line. So one of the practical method could be, each one has to devise because each one is unique. Each one's character, each one's approach, each one's preferences, priorities, inclination, aptitude, all vary from each other. So if we hear a news, if we try to read something and try to understand, we may not be able to follow.
4 o'clock they will be coming. I call you with question.
Ah.
Just before they are coming, I call.
When they reach almost the gate.
Yes.
Today being Janmashtami, a lot of children are coming. We will go there and receive them. Up to that we can continue. Where are we now?
Inclinations are different.
Each one's
Each one is different. So, so each one has to devise a sadhana for oneself. Please make a note of this. We have been hearing, we have been reading, we have been trying to go through what Papa has said. We have intellectually understood, but we have not been able to live up to it. Why? Because our mind intellect equipment is unique. Though it understands, it cannot move forward. This fact Papa has clearly mentioned. It is not a new thing for us. This has been beautifully addressed by Papa himself. He says, in the case of adults, the outside help consists in awakening the individual to a moral or spiritual life, and by hints and suggestions enable him or her to find out for himself or herself the method and conduct of life by adopting which he or she can attain moral and spiritual perfection. Let us be very clear about it, no? This is very important for us. Until we meet the spiritual preceptor, the Guru, we are not very clear. We would have heard so many things, we would have chanted, we would have attended bhajan, we would have met so many Swamis, so many Mahatmas, we would have attended, but it has not been awakened in us. So the spiritual Guru, the spiritual preceptor, who is called Guru, he touches and kindles and awakens us. That is the first step. That is the only job of the Guru. That is why he is called the awakener. And then Papa says, in the case of adults, the outside help consists in awakening the individual to a moral and spiritual life, and he gives us hints and suggestions drawn on his own life. Who? The spiritual preceptor. Then the method or conduct of life should be evolved by oneself. We cannot follow, copy. This is the blunt truth. Initially, we can follow this, we try to follow. But we are not in a position to follow. Because each one is unique. I will again read that. This will help us. In the case of adults, the outside help consists in awakening the individual to a moral and spiritual life, and by hints and suggestions enable him or her to find out for himself or herself the method and conduct of life by adopting which he or she can attain moral and spiritual perfection. Cut and dry rules applicable for all individuals and dominating insistence of a so-called higher authority on the individual for casting him into a new mold, for producing a Superman, is not at all the way. The life of the individual must grow like a bud into a flower and the flower into a fruit. As we provide the necessary conditions and environments for the growth and fruition of the bud into fruit, so also is it with life. In the life of the adult spiritual aspirant, the best discipline for his advancement and ultimate realization is the self-imposed discipline. Here, imitation and abject implicit obedience to the law set by anyone, however highly evolved he may be, will, instead of bringing into being an illumined individual, only produce a human robot without any initiative. "65 years back, Papa says this, when in our concept there was no robot. Just imagine how bluntly he puts it. Suddenly we realize, have I at any time found out whether this particular method is suitable for my equipment? My equipment is conditioned by so many concepts. So in spite of hearing all these things, especially from Papa, who experimented first and then revealed, whose sadhana was not text oriented. When the prompting comes to him from within, he immediately plunges into it, and then he comes out of it and shares with us later. Even such revelations, Papa wants us. It might give you some hints, that's all. Hints and suggestions. But ultimately you have to check up with yourself whether it is in line with your equipment. Imitation and abject implicit obedience to the law set by anyone, however highly evolved he may be, will, instead of bringing into being an illumined individual, only produce a human robot without initiative, all its inner powers and beauty unexpressed and unrevealed. The keen aspiration for attaining the highest truth must be there. Contact with the divinely illumined personality must also be there. But the unfoldment of the hidden divine life and truth in the sadhaka must take place according to the nature and qualities of his inner and outer life and being. Contact with the divine keen aspiration for attaining the highest truth must be there. Contact with the divinely illumined personality must also be there. But the unfoldment of the hidden divine life and truth in the sadhaka must take place according to the nature and qualities of his inner and outer life and being. We know that we cannot hasten the ripening of a raw fruit, and if we by any process cause it to ripen artificially and prematurely, the taste of the fruit will never be the same as the one which has ripened in the natural course. Saints are therefore called the awakeners, whose grace works on the sadhaka like the sunlight on the lotus bud, which blossoms into a fragrant and beautiful flower. Unless the ego sense disappears, the divine life in us can never reveal itself in all its glory. Be like a child. Power, charm and sweetness of the divine will radiate through you like the luster of the gem. God should possess you, not in any part of your being, but in every atom, gross, subtle, of your entire physical, mental, vital being. You will become now a very image of the supernatural essence, made up of infinite love, power and joy. So when Puja Swamiji first touched and kindled that we should try to move from the devotee state to the sadhaka state. First of all, we had the doubt, what is the difference between that? Devotee has aspiration for God along with so many other things. It is not exclusive. Sadhaka, according to Puja Swamiji, is exclusively for God realization. God realization does not mean going anywhere. God realization, Papa has beautifully brought it out. God realization means doing everything with the feeling that He is making us to do. That's all. We'll again read Papa's words. Spirituality that cannot be applied in actual life is no spirituality. God is in the world and is acting through every one of us. God realization does not mean disappearing into some unknown realm beyond the world. True spirituality consists in our living in this world, moving in it, and serving all beings, all the time being conscious of the divine within us and everywhere around us. So, no taboo for family life, professional life, social life. This clarity also Papa gives. Wherever we are, instead of owning all thoughts, words and deeds, we try to become aware of the real owner behind our sense of individuality and carry on with whatever he prompts us at these three tiers of life. And so now coming back again to the original topic, so we are now trying to watch ourselves and evaluate ourselves whether we are simply following a certain discipline just because somebody has prescribed, or whether there is a keen aspiration in us, and have we evolved a type of discipline which is suitable for our mental, physical, intellectual equipment. When we find that we have never checked up this, we were simply following, now Papa reminds us, you check up for yourself and chalk out a method suitable for your equipment. Somebody cannot charter this for you, you have to do it by yourself. Reference is the life of Mahatmas. So all of us are asking ourselves whether what we are doing is in line with what our tendencies are, what our limitations are. No? Probably that is why our chanting becomes superficial or lip level, or it becomes mechanical. Chanting goes on, initially goes on beautifully, and later on it might not go away. So whatever limitation we have, we try to become aware of it, and we try to draft out a method suitable for ourselves. This is purely subjective, So one has to do some thinking and find out how to do that. But this is very important for us. With this background, with this perspective, when we go back to many of their teachings, then we find, yes, especially Mataji often took everybody into task, Nobody has derived the interest from ashram life. She used to say that. Because elsewhere she said ashram is a school. And you are coming here to learn universal love and service. Suddenly we remember our school days. When we go to the school, we have texts, teachers, curriculum, syllabus, and every day the teacher takes some portions. We have a timetable. We try to go through the text. We try to hear what the teacher says. And in order that some of it get stamped in our heart, they give us the homework. We come back and do the homework. Based upon it, next day, another chapter they take up. And every 3 months or 6 months, definitely every year, they conduct an examination. What for? Just to evaluate whether what has been read by me or what has been taught to me, what has been touched and kindled in me, whether it stays in me, whether it has been assimilated, whether it has been absorbed. That is why in the examination hall I am not given any text. No teacher will come and help. I don't know the questions. At that particular moment, 10 o'clock, we enter the examination hall. The question paper is given to us. Nobody is there to help. So we have to answer it in our own way. Based upon the assimilation or absorption we have done. So when Mataji says ashram is a school, and here the text is universal love and service. Am I moving toward that? Expansion from the me to we, from the individual to the a little more higher level. Mataji, I have also added one more. Which school will permit you to go there and sit for some time and go back without passing a single examination? Which school will permit you? You have to keep on hammering this. Mataji's words. Ashram is a school. You have come here to learn universal love and service. What is the use of coming here year after year, staying here for months, if you have not imbibed even the rudiments of universal love and service? What does it mean? Have we applied our mind? I am chanting God's name, I am having darshan, I am having so many things I keep on adding. So she says, what is the use of coming here year after year and staying here for months if you have not imbibed even the rudiments of universal love and service? What use is an ashram, mutt or mandir if the devotee who go there make no progress at all on the spiritual path? Does any school allow its children to simply come to the classes, sit for some time and go away without passing a single examination? How can you prepare yourself to appear for examination when you have not even gone beyond A, B and C alphabets? Mataji was in a firing mood on that. You should not simply stand outside the gates of the mansion and shower compliments and praises on the Guru, then turn back without bothering to enter the gates and experience the bliss of the Guru's eternal being. The physical being, geographically, that all everybody has been having here. But that is not what Mataji meant. Eternal being. The Guru inside. The main reason why you hesitate to enter the gates of the mansion is because the world outside is the world of I and mine, and you are scared that if you enter the gates and when your mind turned toward the Guru, you would lose the world you have been hugging as yours. You do not realize that far from losing your world, you actually gain the whole universe. which becomes yours when you realize infinite and eternal reality. So this is the point here. She says it's school. So we have got direct experience, All of us have got direct experience in our school life. It is not a theory. It is not for intellectual consumption. We try to mentally revisit those days and then try to understand the methodology. Everybody's answer will not be the same. We realize text is the same, teacher is the same, portions taken up is the same, homework is the same, but when we sit for exam, everybody gets different marks. That is a crucial point we have to remember. So far in our life, have we been concentrating only on this aspect? The text, the teacher. Or have we ever tried to go a little more deeper into all these things and find out for ourselves whether some assimilation has taken place, absorption has taken place, so that when the time comes, I will be able to bring it out in my own way. He also says, through mere superficial churning of thought, Ramdas's words cannot be understood. When we are talking about assimilation and absorption, it comes to us, You can throw light on them only when you bring with you the blazing torch of your own perfected experience. All of us have to check up whether we are doing this. We hear, we read, everything is okay. But whether this one is coming, you can throw light on them only when you bring with you the blazing torch of your own perfected experience. Experience is gained by diving into the depth of your mind. Seek guidance always from within. If what Ramdas says is in agreement with your inner voice, follow it. Don't accept Ramdas's suggestion without a sanction from within, because we are all unique. Seek guidance always from within. If what Ramdas says is in agreement with your inner voice, follow it. Don't accept Ramdas's suggestion without a sanction from within. The more a man becomes reflective and meditative, the nearer he approaches the true springs of life. Beautiful. The more a man becomes reflective and meditative, the nearer he approaches the true springs of life. Yes?
How can there be a difference between Ramdas' voice and the inner voice? As Ramdas is sitting inside.
How do we?
Papa Ramdas. As Papa Ramdas is sitting inside your heart, how can Papa's voice be different from the inner voice? The same, no?
He's telling
When the moment you feel that Papa is eating inside, then the question will not come. We are telling this because somebody told us and we are eating it. If the realization has come, we will not see. It is only an intellectual absorption now. God is seated within and He is making me to talk. It has not become an experience for me. Until such time, the sense of individuality is the one which is now telling.
Yes, Swami.
Very often we feel that, no? Because we are trying to go to the summit first. If everything, somebody asked Papa, if everything is happening only by God's will, what should I do? If you have reached that stage, nothing is to be done. That we will reach and realize only when we realize, when we reach that destination. At the moment, we are all thinking that we are individual.
Okay, Swami.
So we have to keep on. So how do we do that? We have to become reflective and meditative. So our Ram Nam chanting, when we chant, suppose all these things are there in the background, you are making me to chant the Ram Nam, but you make me to feel that I am chanting, that is not right. Please make me, awaken me. Like that, so many things we have to add while chanting.
Thank you, Swami.
Oh.
Hari Om.
Very well. So again we will read that. Seek guidance always from within. If what Ramdas says is in agreement with your inner voice, follow it. Don't accept Ramdas's suggestion without a sanction from within. The more a man becomes reflective and meditative, the nearer he approaches the true springs of life.
Swamiji, Hari Om, இப்போ சொன்னேனே, the more you reflect, the more he is reflective and meditative, he will be nearer to
goal of life.
Springs of life.
Springs of life.
Springs means our origin.
Okay, source.
That itself is a good question. True springs of life. Springs of life mean our origin, no? So again, Papa is slowly asking us to go back to our origin. To know, just now somebody said, when he is there, how is it that there can be another? Yeah. Because when we know that he is there, that means it should not knowing. When we experience that he is there, then the problem will not come. So for that he says, you be reflective and meditative, then only you will go nearer the springs of your life. Mata, so Papa wants us to go to the root of all our existence. When we have been working on this, how to become one with him, what became clear to us was the source of all sources. And it can come only through reflection and meditation. To some extent, the guidance can be taken from outside. For example, when he said, go to your origin and the origin of everything in the world. So suddenly, in front of us there is a coconut tree. So this coconut tree has come from a seed coconut. This seed coconut has come from another coconut tree. And that coconut tree has come from a seed coconut which is a product of another coconut tree. Is it not?
Yes.
Similarly, we are born to our parents. Our parents are born to their parents. So just like in the case of coconut, we are trying to find out which was the original seed coconut, which started propagating to So many coconut trees all over the world. Intellect cannot grasp. Similarly, when we look back our own life, we were born to our parents, parents were born to their parents, they were born to their parents. Wait, where from it started? This is what Papa wants us to do. That source is common in all. So reflective and meditative means we try to go to the source, but then we cannot go beyond certain level. Then we go again back to these Shastras, where Lord Krishna says, Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam, I am the eternal seed of everything. So then we try to understand what is me there. Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam. I am the eternal seed of everything that is there in the world. Okay. So what I means what? Again, reflective and meditative we try to go.
Okay.
Now we can, all these words have come from his own digging, his own way of approach. That is why he said you have to dig in your own way. So when we try to evaluate our progress, and when we all feel that there is inadequacy in our sadhana, then we try to bring all these words again and again, and then try to chalk out a method that is suitable for our body, mental, mind and health equipment. We cannot follow anybody's. By trial and error method, we try to bring out a method for ourselves. And later on, he directs us to these words in so many words. Be the light unto yourself, and in your own original way, bring out the magnificence in you. In your own original way. At other times, he was blunt in telling, don't be like dumb-driven cattle.
Our prompting Swamiji.
Kudupar. That we keep on through our prayer. We keep the link and place before him. You have now informed us, you have now equipped us with all these directions. GPS you have given. But I have to start, As soon as we get into our car, we switch on the GPS and it directs. But if the car does not move, so I should move, And immediately when I go there is a traffic jam, so I have to devise some other method. So everything is resting on that individual's unique method.
Keen aspiration.
Unique method. This has to be thought over well.
How do we know we are progressing spiritually well?
Yeah, that's all. How do you know that we are progressing spiritually? Whether we have been able to expand our love circle. Mataji gives us a litmus test. That the affection or our treatment or attitude towards our kith and kin and the man on the streets, if it is becoming similar, then we are progressing. If my duties, my affection, my love is confined only to my own defined people, and if it is not spreading out anywhere, that means we are not progressing. Apparently we may be doing some disciplines, but it has not percolated into our thoughts, words and deeds. So the litmus test is whether we are expanding. Or whether we are in the cocooned stage, limited stage of me and mine, me and mine, me and mine, me and mine. So when he gives us various opportunities for us to involve ourselves, say we are going to the office or household work, suddenly he will bring out circumstances in such a way. The other day we were sharing, one cat was passing through one car has gone, and another car, it had hit the cat. It was lying. This person somehow applied the brake. And when he applied the nobody they did not know what he was doing. We also had passed. Then suddenly we looked back. Then this person went there. Then we saw the cat. Then he took the cat, put it in his seat, and he was driving. That was a test given to him by Papa. Whether the care and concern, quality care and concern for another creature is there. Otherwise, your mind can say, what can I do? I did not go and hit the car. I am not responsible. I can go. My preference and priorities push me to go. But to become insensitive to what had happened else. But here it is not like that. Suddenly the priority gets shifted. No matter whatever may be the appointment. It's an indication. So the expansion from the me to we. Finally is universal love and service, a final expansion. And that also he says based upon the vision of divinity. That means the common feature in all of us, unless we try to realize that, this cannot become a reality. And in their life we could see that, the quality, care and concern for as many of his creation as possible. We may not be able to go and embrace the whole world, but he may give us some situations where we try to expend ourselves, reach out to ourselves, just as a mother reaches out to the children first. Mataji also says this. First it should start from your family. Because God is teaching us through first family life. Because none of us know ABCD of love. Without schooling, it is touched and kindled in our mind by our mother. So that we don't need any schooling or lecture from somebody. We have directly tasted this. We know the technique. But unfortunately, after some time, it got limited. First mother, then mother introduced your father to us, and then brothers, sisters, elders, uncle, chitappa, periyappa, all those things came. But at some point, it got halted. There the me and mine fence came. So there, though the fence was put, through spiritual preceptor, we were touched and to inform, try to go out of it. You keep them, not that you should leave them. Papa defines it. According to him, sannyasa is not renunciation, it is an expansion. Previously, Ramdas was identifying with a small family. Now he is identifying with a bigger family in which the small family is also there. That is his definition. So the expansion. So this is the litmus test. We have to watch ourselves. Whether not only to human beings, whether we are in a position to stretch this to human beings, birds and animals, plants and trees, inert, insentient articles. When we open the tap, when we close the tap, when we use the commode, when we use the wash basin, whether this concern is, nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. So not necessarily that this should be an act of anything that we do, When we open the tap and close the tap, suddenly we realize when there was no tap in the world, you made somebody to bring it so that I am using it, So that it has to be respected. So when I close it, not haphazardly, I see that it is fully closed. If possible, mentally, Hari Om. When I use the commode, when I use it after then cleaning it, and seeing that it's, oh, you have helped me to ease myself, otherwise what will I do now? So we are trying to extend this, habituate our whole lifestyle to develop this love for not only the movables but also to the immovables. And Mataji used to bluntly say that, this is Papa, this is Papa, this is Papa. Like that, nobody understood. Because to her nothing was bereft of God dimension. And she was trying to teach us this. Handle anything. In her room, to demonstrate, one day the asanas are there, whenever we go inside, somebody will be asked to sit on the moda, somebody will be, then she saw to it that it is put like this. And she was watching everybody. They did not know what she was. Again she took it and kept it in the proper order. Which you like most? Then everybody said the second one. Why not we do it? It is not an asana. Then she said, it is Papa. To her, by word Papa, she meant only the all-pervading reality. Because after the Samadhi, she wrote this word. Omnipresent Papa's ashram is the whole universe. To know that, he has set up this ashram. So it covers, envelops everything, not only human beings. So they are asking us to train ourselves to handle everything with this perspective or bhavana in anything that God is making us to handle. All of us will go now. Later, tomorrow we can take up. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Hari Om. Today is Gokulashtami day. So children are coming from the nearby places. So we have to receive them at the Panjavadi. So we are going there. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om. Thank you. Hari Om.